Hey, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you're new to tarot, just know that not every reading is going to resonate, so if you feel like I'm wrong or this just isn't your reading, please just disregard and never try to make a reading fit. I'm going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. Those cards describe a really specific personality, but they have nothing to do with sex or gender. Sometimes people say the energies are in the reverse, and if you feel like that's happening for you, go ahead and take it that way. I do offer private personals. That information is in the description of the video and in the pin section of the comments. I've also linked in there all of my other social media if you want to follow me over there. Anything else? Yeah. If you want to catch more readings, just feel free to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that too. Okay, so we have Thief. Robbed, loss, theft, physical or emotional, and dodging bullets, blocking negativity, escaping crazy people, and protected from haters. Okay. What is this? Okay, so the overall energy is the Knight of Wands. Move this over a little bit. Okay. The Two of Cups, the King of Wands, the Knight of Cups. The Two of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the World. Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus energy. And at the bottom of the deck, the Three of Wands. And Temperance is behind that. That's interesting. Only because, you know, these cards are a lot alike, obviously, like the minor arcana, but to the major arcana, but definitely very relevant. There's some inconsistencies with a person. And I see the Knight of Wands as a person who, you know, they like their freedom. You know, the Knight of Wands is all over the place doing whatever he wants. You know, it's a very independent energy. But it leads to inconsistencies when it's a romantic relationship, and that's exactly what's going on here. Now, there's a situation here where I think someone's trying to apologize for an inconsistency. Some of you have already chosen to separate yourself from this person and just do your own thing. Tired of, it's like I said, the inconsistency. It's like everything's always back and forth and up and down. And I think for you, you're kind of going back and forth and up and down about whether you should start something new, you know, like just move on from something, or really try to like work it out. Should you, you know, go about your merry business? These are being in the challenge cards as having like patience and keeping calm and keeping peaceful. So this is kind of weird because I feel like most of the readings that I ever do for Cancer, they honestly don't resonate with me at all, but this totally does. Like I'm doing the whole file for separation shit. The difference in energy here is that somebody is really, really upset and they're not sure. They're not sure if they want to look past to some inconsistencies and like stay in something, you know. So I feel, there's some differences in what we're going through, but like the main difference here is someone still waiting to try to figure it out. What do I really want to do here? Where I'm not in that energy. If you fuck up with me, you fucked up with me. You're inconsistent, I'm out. You lie, I'm out. You know, anything like that, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't, I'm already in this energy. Maybe some of you are, but like, it's like there's no anger because I didn't fuck up and I'm only in control of me. But I also wouldn't sit around waiting to figure out what I want to do. Is this person going to apologize and change? Or are they going to, like, no. Somebody may be really wasting your time. They're just stealing time and energy from you, you know what I mean? And it's time to really just kind of protect yourself from that. And I get that it can be hard sometimes, it's like you want to believe something, especially because I feel like this person is inconsistent. Like sometimes you think things are going somewhere, that things are going to get better. But there's always the flip side. So I feel like a lot of you are stuck in the land of indecision. I don't know what to do. And it's because there's some emotional response to it. But if you really think about things practically, because obviously for each of you somebody did something different, and maybe that's what's needed here. If you sit down and think about it practically, you may actually find yourself in a state of peace, and maybe even get some answers, like some more clear answers, you know what I mean? Like I feel like somebody's going to try to apologize here. Maybe for some of you it should be less about getting back into it or taking someone back and more about getting the truth and moving on. Because I just don't see, a change in this behavior, even if someone's like, I screwed up, I should have did this when I said I was going to, and I didn't, and I know that's why things are over, but like, I don't feel, I feel like that it's more like they feel challenged and they're willing to like fight for it, but they weren't willing to like do things right the first time. And for some of you, you're really not having this. To you, it's over. For some of you, you may even want things to change, but I think overall a lot of you are having like some real troubles dealing with or coping with whatever the separation is, and someone else is making it harder by trying to be around and trying to show up. But a lot of you are just in the state of just kind of wanting to be left alone with this. So maybe the Three of Wands and the Temperance card is more about saying, it's not time when I'm emotional or when I'm upset to really make a decision. And that's true. It's important to really sit down, think things through, make sure you get some clarity from your own perspective and some closure on what really happened and if you can deal with it or not, because, kind of this energy might be a little, I feel like somebody's contradicting themselves. For the most part, they're pissed off about what happened and they want things to just be over. They kind of want this apology, but they, for the most part, say they want it to be over. And then other times, feeling like they just want this person to come in fighting for them and to, never fuck up again. And that's a hard place to be in. And I feel like, again, there could be this need to see things a different way here. We have the Wheel of Fortune after this with the Four of Cups. some of you just like know what you need to do, but at the end of the day, it's just so disappointing because you feel like, someone stole your time. And they're willing to do it again. But I think you still do often reminisce about this person or think about what was said in the past or the bond that was supposed to be established, or if you were ever going to get where this person was always saying where they were going. There's something about the past. And I think, it's looking like what was built, like what was invested in, just for it to be really disappointing, just for the tables to completely flipped and for it to be shit. Well, see, these are the things that I won't say to myself because it will put me in this bitter energy. And I think a lot of people, they make that mistake of getting like super, super bitter and like staying in this, like, this is so fucked up. All of my time was wasted. Like, now I have to start over from scratch. And, it leaves you in this position of, do you even want to do that? Or is it easier just to deal with this person and pray things get better? So I kind of get the energy of wishing that someone would just get it together. But I think here it would be important for someone to understand that it would just be wishing. Because we're looking at someone who just is, like, their main energy is just inconsistency. They come in fast and hot and it just fizzles out. They're off to do the next thing. It's like, it's given like someone who can't really like give you the like attention that you need, or like they can't show up how you need in the first place, because this doesn't look disappointing. I don't see other people involved or anything. This seems deeper than this. And this person knows they're dead wrong. But, I mean, the reality in this is whatever this was has been a thing for a minute. I think that, they're aware of it. They're aware that it's the reason that you made the decision to just go. But they're also aware that you don't need them. So I feel like this person is really frustrated right now because you're not really saying anything because, again, like, I think you're not sure what you want to do or even how to respond to this anymore. I think a lot of you are still in this anger stage. Some of you might realize that if you lose the anger, there actually are no other emotions for this person. That you don't actually feel how you once did. For some of you, you could have intuitively felt like, this wasn't ever going to be right. Something just wasn't what someone else was making it out to be. And you tried to go against that or something here, The Page of Cups, the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups. The Nine of Cups, Justice, Libra energy, the Page of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck, the Empress. Libra, Taurus, with the Ace of Swords. Yeah. This person's not above begging. There's something about the situation where they know that if they don't just speak up and tell the absolute truth, that they will definitely lose you, and there's still a good chance to lose you if they tell you, like if they... There's something about needing to know how they're going to say something before they say it to not slip up. It's like, if it's not a truth, it's like that you don't know, it's like they know that they were like dead wrong and that what you're saying is real, and that they have to speak up, that they have to say it a certain way to not get themselves further into the fire here. And I think they're not above begging. For some of you, they're trying to now give you reassurance on a subject that you were just asking for reassurance on before, and they just couldn't keep it together with the Knight of Wands. You know what I mean? This would be like you asked a question, they give you one answer, but then 2 months later they tell a story where that answer no longer coincides with the first story. Something stupid like that. Now they're like thinking about, how do I even tell this story without fucking up? So... There's definitely something about this person where it's still kind of, it's like still a little cunning and manipulative. It's like, well, how do I tell this truth, but in a way that benefits me? What do I say? So you have to be aware that this person will do almost anything to make things right, even if it's just be completely sketchy and still give half-truths, or you realize that now, because they can confirm and validate whatever you were talking about or saying that they wouldn't do in the past, or reassuring you about something that they could have just done in the past, that they're fully fucking capable of it, so they should have did it before you left. There's like something where it's like the conversation that's going to be had with this person is actually going to maybe make things worse for them, but they're going to try. So we have the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Fool, and at the bottom of the deck, Judgment. In the advice, just keep it, some of you do need to end the relationship and just go elsewhere. Somebody is going to remain inconsistent, no matter how patient you are, no matter how many attempts you do with them. Like, you have to end this romanticized idea of what things could be, or like this dream that someone has fed to you, to really see like the full truth and really get the closure you need. Someone's not gonna like... There's something about you discerning in a conversation to get the closure that you need. Some of you really need to end this, though. There is, it's like this person's coming in and they're, again, like, I think being genuine and sweet, but like at the same time, like there's something being left out, or they're showing up in a way, all of a sudden, like, when it benefits them, they can show up in a way that they couldn't show up in before. And then you need to really realize that they're just doing this to benefit them, but they're fully capable. They're not going to consistently do it, So I just feel like some of you need to take a deep breath from the emotional part and sort of like really practically think about someone here, so that you don't end up in the same fucking cycle over and over and over again with this person, because some of you have already like dealt with the inconsistencies and the bullshit, and that can be mistaken for allowing it. Like, sure, I can get caught up in the lie, but then I can lie about the lie and everything will just smooth out. You don't want to be that person. Like, there is something about this person where it's like, I think it's mostly along the lines of, you're going to see how they can actually show up, how you've been asking them to show up, but only if it's going to benefit them. So it's manipulation. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow.